What the cross will do is, when you make your way towards the Great Palace, the final palace in the game, we travel through an area known as the Valley of Death. And without the cross, there are certain enemies, especially in the graveyard area, which we passed already, that you won't be able to see them, and they will basically be invisible, but they're still there. And there are also the same enemies in the old town of Kasuto, which we will need to go to after this palace. So now that we have the cross, we now have the ability to see these previously invisible enemies. It doesn't really have much of use other than that, and just like every other item in the game, it's one of those items you don't really equip at all. It just you sort of just automatically have it equipped, like there's no real inventory. Anyway, I finally reached the 6,000 points, and now I upgraded my magic to now the maximum level 8. One thing worth noting, you saw at 9,000 experience points, it says I could have upgraded my health. You really can't. Basically, all that will do is it will actually just give you a free guy, a Link doll, another new life, pretty much. So while it might appear, oh, is there a level 9? No, there is no level 9. Level 8 is the maximum. So travel to the west. I fell down through that secret, not really secret, but that hidden hole in the ground earlier. But now I made my way up the elevator, and now I am back to where we were before. I used the jump spell. You actually don't need to. You could have jumped up to the right and then jumped to the left. This is much more easier. It's much easier just to use the jump spell. And now, like I said earlier, now that I had upgraded to the level 8 magic, the next upgrade is 8,000 experience points, and there's no way I'll be able to get that before the boss. So, you can completely neglect enemies now. Just keep passing them, ditch past all of them, and that's pretty much it. We want to head all the way back west to where we found these secret little looping holes in the ground, and just drop down once, and then when you drop down a second time, hold to the right, and we want to head to the right from here. And if you notice, I'm very close to max in terms of my magic, and you absolutely must be close to max, because we are going to be needing to use the fairy spell twice coming up. And so you want to, if you're not maxed and you get a magic jar, you do not want to waste it on stuff like the shield spell or whatever. Just be sure you're close to max. If you're completely empty, you might need to backtrack so you fill it up somewhere by killing enemies. But that's just a fair warning. There's a couple of wizards here, and even though I don't really need their experience points, I'm not going to waste the time using the reflect spell, because it's just really not worth it, because I need to preserve my magic. Continue to the east, and here's one of those locations where you are going to need to use the fairy spell. Just turn into a fairy and float all the way across. Now, you can't travel too far south, too far to the bottom of the screen, otherwise Link will fall into the lava. There's also various bubbles, there's those droplets, so this could be a rather difficult room. But just continue traveling to the east. Some more same enemies that we've faced before. There's nothing too special. There's a little elevator here. You don't want to go down it. We will only need to use that elevator if we mess up later on in the dungeon. Continue to the east, and there's another one of these mini bosses, and it's just the same exact blue iron knuckle on his chariot, sort of like it's like medieval times almost, where he just runs in the chariot with his sword sticking out. Just like last time, I took care of him rather easily, and afterwards get the key and just travel to the east. And this area, if you like, I'm very on the brink in terms of the amount of magic. I don't want to use the jump spell here, but if you have the jump spell, use it. Jump up across here. There's a blue iron knuckle. This is the ideal time right here to use the spell if you have the spell and you have close to full magic, because there's this blue iron knuckle here that'll hurt you, Plus there's these bubbles to the right. And I got lucky because I only went far enough where only one of them came out. But there's two of them here. And behind it is another Link doll for you to get. So it's completely optional, and like I said, this is a very challenging area. Plus, you might need to use the jump spell here. But once, be sure you have the fairy spell equipped. Basically, once you fall here, use the fairy spell because you don't want to fall to the lower floor, because then you're gonna have to backtrack, and you can travel to the east to get to the next room. And this is basically, this will take you to the palace boss. The original name of the boss was actually Barba. However, some people view this as it was a mistranslation, and in later re-releases it was known as Volvagia, which is the same name of a fire dragon from the Ocarina of Time. And basically, Barba will come up from the lava in one of three areas, and it will shoot fire at you. Just do exactly what I'm doing. Jump up, slash at its head. You could use either the shield or jump spell if it makes it easier for you. And you have to actually keep jumping from platform to platform, otherwise Barba will just keep appearing on the opposite side where you can't really reach him. You can hit it if you can predict where he's coming up from. You can actually hit him on his way up, as well as when he's at the top. And while Barba looks intimidating, he's actually one of the easier bosses in the game, in my opinion. There really isn't much to the boss battle. All you gotta do is hit once and jump away. As long as you don't make a mistake and fall into the lava, you should be fine. Or if you get a little impatient like me right there, and I really wanted to hit him, then you can run into trouble. But other than that, just hit him as he's coming up. If you can't do that, hit him, just jump up and hit him, and there's not much to it, and he'll be defeated. And he gives you 700 experience points, so hopefully that's enough to reach you to the next level if you're trying to get it. Walk towards the statue, place it in, and that's pretty much it for the 6th palace. Congratulations, and now I will get up to 8,000 experience points and max out all 3 of my upgrades. I'll have 8 sword, 8 magic, and 8 life now. I'm ready to tackle the Great Palace, so join me for Chapter 7, where we will take on the final palace, the road to the Great Palace, and the Great Palace itself. So, see you guys later.